Though they can be full of luxury and prestige, royal marriages aren't immune to problems. For tales of affairs, drug addiction, and deception, stay tuned to find out about these turbulent royal marriages. Princess Anne, if you're not totally schooled on your British royals, is Queen Elizabeth II's second-born child and only daughter. Initially, the royal was married to Captain Mark Phillips in 1973 and had 2 children, but, according to Express in 1989, a series of love letters to the princess from the Queen's equerry, Timothy Lawrence, were stolen from her briefcase, and they quickly ended up in the Sun. Not surprisingly, her first marriage subsequently came to an end. The letters exposed the princess's affair with an otherwise common man living in the English countryside. But according to that same Express story, police were never able to ascertain who lifted them. The princess separated from her first husband in 1992 and promptly appeared at the Caledonian Ball with Lawrence. According to the 2002 documentary, The Real Princess Anne, pictures of the new pair plastered the tabloids shortly after, and Anne married her second military man that December in Scotland.
She married first an army officer and then a naval officer, so there must be something about the military that attracts her.
In September of 2009, the Daily Mail reported that Princess Caroline of Monaco was about to divorce her third husband, Prince Ernst of Hanover.
Apparently, the two had not been together since June, and cited this third failed marriage as evidence that a 13th century French curse on the family was back in full effect. Prior to her 2009 divorce, Caroline had been married to Stefano Cosaragi, who died in 1990 while racing a sailboat off the coast of Monte Carlo. This was after Caroline had divorced her first husband, Philippe Junot, who was described by UPI as a Parisian playboy. The outlet also alleged that Caroline had tired of their jet-set lifestyle, and word on the street was Junot hadn't slowed down since getting hitched. So, it didn't seem to be a huge shock when the marriage ended in 1980. Imagine putting all that time and effort into planning your wedding, only to have the spotlight stolen by the Prince and Princess of Denmark.
In perhaps the most public Danish royal drama since Hamlet, the South China Morning Post posted a story about Prince Joachim and Princess Alexandra attending a wedding titled How Princess Alexandra Ran Out on Prince Charmless.
The newspaper quoted Paul Madison of the Copenhagen tabloid Extra Blade saying, "The prince was drunk, and according to independent sources, he was getting close and very intimate with some of the other ladies. Princess Alexandra clearly was having none of it, and allegedly shouted for her driver to get her car and left in a huff." Madison curtly added, "After that, it is understood divorce proceedings were initiated." According to the UK's Standard, Malaysian Sultan Muhammad V was introduced to former Miss Moscow, Oksana Vojvodina, and the two quickly struck up a long-distance relationship via text and phone chats, eventually marrying in July 2018. The royal stepped down as King of Malaysia, and according to the South China Morning Post, it may have been because the royal family was opposed to his marriage. However, by July of 2019, the same outlet reported that the Sultan's lawyer had said that Muhammad had divorced his wife via triple talaq, saying the Arabic word for divorce 3 times. This form of dissolution is irrevocable in several Muslim countries. Vojvodina didn't take kindly to her marriage ending this way, as the Daily Mail reported her posting a video of the couple's child destroying a picture of his father. The story went on to detail the nasty specifics of their divorce settlement disputes and to question the child's paternity. While married to Princess Stephanie of Monaco, the Associated Press reported that Daniel Docrouille was photographed kissing a Belgian stripper in an Italian tabloid. The pair had met at an auto race before meeting at a villa belonging to Docrouille's friend in the Côte d'Azur. There, an enterprising paparazzo caught their tryst on camera, and the Associated Press subsequently reported that Princess Stephanie filed for divorce in October of 1996. By all appearances, this appeared to be a classic case of someone being caught cheating. Or was it? After getting busted, Docrouille insisted that he'd been set up, and according to The Independent, he sued the paparazzi for going too far. They were ultimately found guilty and given suspended sentences for their roles in framing the former royal, along with fines of about £5,000. Princess Victoria Melita was the granddaughter of both Queen Victoria and Tsar Alexander II, and her marriage to Grand Duke Ernest of Hesse is one of the most bizarre and scandalous in royal history. The main problems for the marriage were that the princess was in love with the Grand Duke Kirill Vladimirovich, and according to Vanity Fair, Ernest had widely known preference for the company of men. According to historian Leslie Carroll, after Princess Victoria discovered her husband in bed with a male kitchen staffer, she begged her grandmother to be released from the marriage. The Queen told her no, and the princess had to wait until 1901, when Queen Victoria finally died, to get her divorce. If you watched season 2 of The Crown, you're likely familiar with the story of Queen Elizabeth II's sister, Princess Margaret, and her marriage to society photographer Anthony Armstrong Jones. Jones seemed to have not even a fleeting interest in monogamy. As Newsweek reported, he began an affair with his best friend's wife, Camilla Fry, while he was still engaged. Fry gave birth to their daughter 3 weeks into the royal honeymoon. It set a difficult tone for the marriage, as according to the Evening Standard, Armstrong Jones, also known by his official title of Lord Snowdon, had extramarital affairs as far back as 1969. His biographer, Anne de Courcy, confirmed these allegations in a Channel 5 documentary about the couple.
Tony never really dropped earlier girlfriends. There was a constant succession of women, and I think men, but it's difficult to say.
Princess Margaret wasn't exactly sitting around waiting for her husband to come home the whole time either. Good Housekeeping reported her having an affair with both a nightclub pianist and a friend of Lord Snowdon's. Her most famous boyfriend, however, was Roddy Llewellyn. According to Harper Bazaar, the then 25-year-old was photographed with Princess Margaret on a Caribbean vacation. The scandalous pictures would ultimately lead to Princess Margaret and Lord Snowdon's marriage coming to an end. In February 2020, The Sun reported that Queen Elizabeth's oldest grandchild, Peter Phillips, and his wife, Autumn Phillips, had announced they were separating. The story quoted several close friends as saying Peter was upset about the ending of a marriage he allegedly thought was going well, though it should be noted none of those friends were named. The Sun did, however, speculate that the couple's 2 daughters might have dual Canadian citizenship, and since their mother is Canadian, they might return to the Great White North after their parents split, with The Sun reporting a source as saying, maybe she's been influenced by Harry and Meghan's departure. Perhaps she thought, if that can happen, then I can leave as well. That might be unfair on her, but you have to consider it. However, the couple was quick to quash the rumours of the impending move to the land of the maple leaf, announcing in a statement that they would both continue to live in Gloucestershire and co-parent their daughters. Emperor Puyi's marriage to Empress Wanrong apparently soured quickly, as according to China Daily, Puyi ran out of their royal bedroom the night of their wedding. As Shine later reported, it was indicative that Puyi did not love Wanrong at all. A 1924 coup forced the imperial couple to move to Tianjin, where Wanrong reportedly became addicted to opium. She also was said to have had affairs with 2 of the emperor's aides, even having a child with one of them. Shine says 2 depressing legends exist about the fate of the child. Either Puyi threw it into a boiler in a fit of rage, or that it was stillborn. Either way, Wanrong slowly succumbed to mental illness as a result and died in prison in 1946. Puyi went on to marry again, but according to the 2001 book Decoding the Secrets of the Last Marriage of the Last Emperor, he may have been gay and was unable to give his next wife a child. Insofar as royal marriages ending badly, none became as much of a public spectacle as that of Prince Charles and Princess Diana.
It began as the ultimate fairy tale marriage, as Lady Diana married Prince Charles at St. Paul's Cathedral in front of an estimated 750 million viewers in 74 countries, with the BBC reporting that over 500,000 people clogged the streets to try and watch the procession.
But the fairy tale didn't last long.
And I suppose in love.
Of course.
Whatever in love means.
By 1986, People reported that Prince Charles had begun an extramarital affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. and by 1989, CBS News reported Princess Diana confronted Camilla about it at a party. But Princess Diana was apparently not without her dalliances either, with The Guardian reporting in 1992 that she and James Hewitt's relationship was allegedly more than just friendly.
Prince Charles and Princess Diana separated in 1992, and, as Princess Diana famously told the BBC in 1995,
"There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." Additionally, the New York Times reported Prince Charles saying that the relationship couldn't be saved, and possibly the most famous marriage in recent history ended in divorce in 1996.
In 2006, Tessie Anthony de Nassau married Prince Louis, Prince of Luxembourg.
The pair had met while serving in the army together, but in 2017, after having 2 children, the pair announced in a statement that they would be divorcing. For Tessie, it was allegedly an especially difficult time. On the Tell It Like It Is podcast, she explained, "When the divorce broke out, my body just shut down. Literally, I couldn't walk, properly speak, eat. I had so much anxiety and couldn't even go shopping for food." According to her, it was a combination of pressure, stress, and fear of public scrutiny. As she is a businesswoman, she found it difficult to accept the marriage had ended in failure. Eventually, Tessie started taking medication for depression, but she knows getting over the divorce will take time, saying via the Tatler, "Divorce was one of the most painful things I have gone through. I lost 98% of my friends.